Grandma was right. When you want to see how good God has been to you, all you've got to do is take a look back and see what God has already done. When upon life billows we are tempest tossed, when we are discouraged, thinking all is lost, count your many blessings and name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has already done. Kept your family. When the storm hit back years ago and you thought the family was going to collapse because what hit was real bad, but it brought the family closer together. He kept you just when you thought you were going to lose your mind because of the events and tragedies of life. He strengthened you in spite of what you were going through. He saved your soul on a day when you were too mean to live and not fit to die, when you were on your way to hell with a first-class ticket. God stepped in and rescued you. Look at what God has already done. You don't have to go back a long way. You can start this morning. He woke you up this morning in time and not into eternity. You were in a reasonable portion of your right mind. You put one foot in front of the other and the other foot followed it. You were able to get up and dress yourself and make your way to the house of God. He put food on your table and clothes in your closet, and life has been good. Look at what has God blessed anybody in here today? Does anybody have any past victories that God has already done? Cave lessons. How to defeat the giant of depression. You got to get quiet so you can hear his voice. There's too much noise in our lives. Now, the younger generations say that they can study and do their homework with the TV going and the radio going and the CD playing, and they playing the games on the TV. They think that that's what life's supposed to be, all that noise. But the parents aren't that different, because there's so much noise that comes upon us that we didn't send for. And we've learned to condition ourselves to survive in a noisy world. But when Elijah was in the cave, God spoke to him and said, I'm coming to see you. Come to the door of the cave. And as God started from the portals of glory to the crusted earth to pass by Elijah, nature got in a fit. That much glory moving around, nature got in a fit. Scripture says the wind started blowing. And the wind blew so strong and with so much intent, it broke up the mountains and crushed the rocks. But that time, God didn't speak in the wind. And after the wind, the earth, God passing by, the earth started to quake and to rock and reel like a drunken man. But that time he wasn't speaking in the earthquake. After the wind and after the earthquake, fire broke out. But that time he wasn't speaking in fire. Scripture says that God came to have a personal conversation with him in a whisper, a still, small voice. And there are times on the journey we're so busy, in such a rush, in such a hurry, going here and going there, and got this schedule and this appointment and all of the noise going on all around us, and we're praying to God and we can't hear him, it's not that God isn't speaking. We haven't gotten quiet enough. But if you ever get quiet, you can hear his voice in the silence. If you ever get still long enough to let the busyness of the world pass on by and get where you can refocus again and hear what God is trying to say to you in a whisper. His power is so great, even in a whisper. His voice has so much strength. He didn't have to get in a hollering and shouting contest because his voice got just as much power in a whisper. And there are times on the journey when you can be in the middle of confusion going on at work and trouble show up at work and God will whisper to you right there on your job. There are times on the journey in the family when everybody in the family decided to go crazy that particular day, and here you are in the middle of all these crazy folk. You love them, but they blood kin, but they get crazy sometime, and God can still speak to you in the middle of all of that noise with a whisper. The songwriter said he speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet the birds hush their singing. He speaks and sickness leaves the body. He whispers and sight comes back to the blind. He whispers and the dead come up from their grave. He whispers and deaf ears are open. He whispers and homes are refreshed and restored and renewed. He whispers and our burdens get lighter and our load gets not to be so heavy. He whispers and the power of his voice can lift us up out of that cave. Somebody here today in a cave right now. Somebody here today been struggling, trying to figure out how you're going to survive and how. Somebody here today, yeah, you in church and got a plastic smile on your face, but in your heart and in your soul, your spirit is broken and your spirit is bruised and your spirit is wounded because life has knocked at you so hard and life has kicked you down so low. But the good news of the gospel is this: the God that we serve has not gone out of business. The same God that brought victory on Mount Carmel, the same God that brings victory when we're on our high days, is also the same God that can reach down to wherever we are and pick us up from wherever we are and can find us and move us out of the cave. And since God is still in charge and God is still in business, then why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eye, his eye, his eye, his eye is on the sparrow. And I know when I'm down, he picks me up. I know when I'm weak, he gives me new strength. I know when I'm lost, he comes and finds me. I know when my money runs out, he'll be my riches. I know when I'm sick, he'll heal my body. I know